Hotep, I am the Amen Osiris, the one and only undisputed God of law. We are Deception Stoppers, America's only 4D destroyer and education service. I am not a lawyer. This is not a law firm. We do not advocate that you don't support your human offspring. We simply advocate that you made them in private, that you take care of them in private. And today I'm going to give you some pointers and teach you how to enforce court-ordered judgment against the 42 USC 666. Hey, let me fix that. My bad. USC. Sorry about that, y'all. Just coming off the road, a little tired. All right. Enforce court order judgment against the 42 USC 666 A3C non-custodial PaRent. Okay. Now, gentlemen, we all know that child support is not part of the court system. Fine and dandy. So, what you're going to do, again, you're going to reciprocate. You're going to flip that around. Okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to take somebody to court, okay, whether it's the federal OCSC, the single and separate OCSC that's operating in the state, and the Social Security Administration, all right, and you want an order against them to enforce judgment against the non-custodial PaRent, which is not you, okay? I'm going to show you a very simple technique, as I always do. And again, gentlemen, it's all dealing with the words. You have to learn their words, and then you're going to turn around and use their words against them. If you do not master their language, you are not going to beat them, okay? So you're going to, again, I'm going to show you how to flip that 4D lien back to the Social Security Administration. Very simple technique, and it puts a judge in the bind because this information comes from them. It cannot be denied. It cannot be disputed. Okay? Now, from the beginning, right here, and again, don't take my word for it, gentlemen. Look it up. All right. This is the identity of the non-custodial PaRent. All right. 42 USC 666A3C. Notice of what? Non-custodial PaRent's Social Security account number. Okay? That Social Security number, I positively identifies the Social Security or the non-custodial PaRent, which is the property of the Social Security Administration. And if you look on the SS5 application, gentlemen, it's very, very specific. Okay? Let me see here. Look, this is the SS5 application. Again, gentlemen, go take it from their own memory banks. Can anybody from the Social Security Administration say that this document is void? No, it is not, because it is their document. Now you'll notice here it says evidence of identity. It says your legal name will be shown on the Social Security card. That's not your name. Look, as proof of your identity, you must provide a driver's license. Didn't you need a Social Security number to get that driver's license? A state-issued identity card. Did you not need a Social Security number for that identity card? Or a passport. Do you not need a Social Security number for a passport? Okay? Look, medical card, school identity card, anything that is from the state, it is connected with a Social Security number. Okay? I don't care if it's car insurance. I don't care if it's vehicle registration. Anything dealing with the state has to have a Social Security number attached to it, because that is how they create parity with you. And they literally don't have parity with you only through those contracts. All right? So you must have evidence of identity. So let's go back. Okay? Identity. Sameness in law of evidence. There it is. The fact that a subject, person, or thing before the court is the same as it is represented or charged to be. When you walk into that 4D hearing, the reason you cannot speak, the reason they don't want to hear you, because you are a subject, a person, or a thing. And that is what you're claimed or charged to be. This is the subject, person, or thing, right? Now, check it out. Of course, you know 20 CFR 422-103D proves that that card name and number is the property of the Social Security Administration. Now, here's how the words overloop. Look at the word identity, subject, person, or thing. Let's look at the word property. That dominion or indefinite right of use or disposition which one may lawfully exercise over particular things or subjects. So they can lawfully exercise Title 4D provisions over this thing, person, or subject, because you keep using it. You keep walking in there and saying, yes, this is me. All right? Now, let's get into it. On the SS5 application, page 5 or page 4, it says protect your social security number. It also says your legal name will be shown on the social security card, right? Okay. Really? Your legal name and your name. So let's get down to the word your. Belonging to or associated with the person or people that the speaker is addressing. Who is the Social Security Administration directing this to? They're directing it to you. So they're giving you the impression that the card is your property. But 20 CFR 422-103D says it ain't. You see it? Do you see it? Okay? You are the number holder. And let me show you this. This is a sample of a Social Security card and name. All right? Now, I want you to check out a couple of things. Number one, do not laminate this card. Okay? Now, this is most important right here. This card is invalid if not signed by the number holder. Okay? If you have a Social Security number that you never signed, guess what? That Social Security lien against it is basically dead because it's invalid because it was never signed. So when you go in and say, hey, listen, I need to see a signed, can you please show me a signed copy of a Social Security number that makes it valid? Because without a signed Social Security number, there's no lien against it. That's one technique. And right here, this is 20 CFR 422-103D. This card is the property of the Social Security Administration and must be returned upon request. And if returned, look, I like this. And if found, returned to Satan. All right. So what you have here, gentlemen, and this is a holder. You're the number holder. You're not the number owner. A person who earns Social Security credits while working for wages or self-employment income, sometimes referred to as the number holder. You're the holder of the number. All right. As the holder, you're basically the tenant. And the landlord cannot come and demand that the tenant pay a lien levied against the landlord's property. Okay? They give you the impression that this is your card. So when you attack the Social Security Administration, the Federal Office of Child Support Enforcement, and the single and separate unit operating in the state, because that is not a state agency, all right, all you're going to do is you're going to send them whatever you're going to design. Hey, this is not my card. This is not my number. This is not my name. There's a lien on this card. All right, I'm going to give you 20 days to prove that this card is my property. You got 20 days. If you do not respond in 20 days, then you agree that the card is not my property. All right? I am not the non-custodial PaRent. I am not identified by a Social Security number. And you are responsible for the lien on that property. You got 20 days. If you don't do it, then you admit by you acquiescence and you admit by tacit admission. Now let's look at a couple more things. All right. What is acquiescence? The reluctant acceptance of something without protest. When they do not respond, that is how they get a default order against the non-custodial PaRent or the man who agrees to provide surety thereof. You acquiescence when you don't respond. You're going to do the same thing. This is a reluctant acceptance of something without protest. They can't protest their own stuff. What is tacit admission? A failure to deny an accusation shows that the accused intended to communicate agreement and thus adopted the accusation. They agree with you. So this is what you're seeking. Okay? So at this juncture, you're going to be fought, when they don't respond to you with the facts. Okay? There's way more to it than this, gentleman. I'm just giving you a little basic formula, all right, which is very helpful. Okay? But when they don't respond to you, then you give them 20 days. On the 21st day, you're going to file in court to enforce a court-ordered judgment against the non-custodial PaRent. And all you got to do is judge, and you're going to give the judge a copy. Of course, you're going to file your original copies that you send as evidence, all right, for discovery purposes. All right, actually, no, just keep them notarized. Don't even file them. Because what you do is when you go to court, right, on the 20, after you get a court date after you file off the 21st day. All right, the judge is going to want to know, why are we here? And you're going to give the judge a copy of your notarized affidavits. You're going to give the judge a copy of the return receipt that the 4B crime family, they signed for it, they received it. So now due process, they're served. All right, so you have provided due process. You gave them a time and manner to respond, and you told them that failure to respond, you even warned them. All right, that failure to respond results in your tacit admission and your acquiescence that I am not the owner, I am the number holder, and there I am not the non-custodial PaRent. I am not identified by a social security number. All right, and therefore I am the number holder. As the number holder, I am not responsible for a lien on the property of the Social Security Administration. Okay, and there you have it, folks. A little quickie. Okay. Again, these are just some footnotes that we use. I'm just showing you some basic formulas. All right, these are formulas. You notice, gentlemen, it ain't nothing real crazy in here. It's just words. Okay. This is what we call a spell breaker. Right here. This right here should break the spell. Okay. It's not your card. Now, also check this out, belonging to or associated with the person, people, or speaker who is addressing. All right. What is your name? Is it John E. Donut, and this is the legal name on the Social Security number, or is your name John E. of the family Donut? Remember, a name is the designation of a human being or a corporation. A human being's name consists of one or more given Christian name and a family name. Okay? Here's another example of yours. All right, belonging to or associated with any person in general. I'll just put human because I don't like that word person. All right. So here's an example. The site is enough to break your heart. All right. That's your heart. Is that your social security number? Okay. So the objectivity, gentlemen, is to use acquiescence and tacit admission in order to enforce a court order judgment against the non-custodial PaRent. All right. You go in there, you say, Judge, why are we here? Okay. I have here a court order for child support payments of whatever. Okay. And as such, that court order was levied against the non-custodial PaRent, which clearly is defined under 42 U.S.C. 666 AC3. It says the non-custodial PaRent's social security number. All right. He can't deny it. It's right there in the law, in the provisions. Okay. And, well, sir, that social security number is the property of the Social Security Administration. The non-custodial PaRent is positively identified by that social security number. And that is proof on the Social Security application, page 2, evidence of identity. So this is evidence of the non-custodial PaRent's identity, which is identified as property of the Social Security Administration. All right. And they have dominion or use of disposition over one they're lawfully exercising child support over this particular subject and thing. That is not me. That is the Social Security Administration's property. All right, I sent them these notarized affidavits. They were received on this date. Here's the evidence of the signed card. All right, and thus we are here today. And I am here to enforce court order judgment against the non-custodial PaRent, which is the Social Security Administration. They did not respond, which means that they acquiesced and under tacit admission stated that they are responsible for that debt. They also acquiesced under tacit admission that I am not John E. Donut, but I am John of the family Donut. All right. And they also acquiesced to noticing that this card is not my property, it is their property. All right. Now, I don't particularly care what you do with this particular case, but I want to be removed from the middle of this sandwich, and I'm demanding it. And more importantly, the Social Security Administration, the Federal Office of Child Support Administration, and the single separate unit operating in the state, they shot themselves in the foot by not responding. And if you do it properly, you send a notice of zip code exempt, you give them 20 days to prove that that is wrong, and guess what? You're not going to be accepting mail with a zip code on it All right, and that's going to suck away at their 20 days. When you get mailed a zip code on it, when you send this notarized affidavits out, right? If they send mail back with a zip code on it, you're already telling them, hey, listen, I'm not accepting that mail. That's for a non-custodial PaRent, so I'm sending it back to you. And unless you send me something to the proper name and proper address without a zip code affixed to it, real land, North America, non-domestic, I'm not accepting it. And therefore, you lose. And it also takes it. They lose federal jurisdiction if they do send it that way. That's why they will not do it. All right. When you accept mail with a zip code, you're stating I'm in federal jurisdiction, federal market value, federal revenue district, and I'm under 4D jurisdiction. All right. They have to use a zip code, and that is where you're going to win. I'm the Omino Cyrus. If you need help disposing of the 4D crime family, all right, bang my email at 4D_destroyer@yahoo.com. All right. Please do not bang me a long, drawn out story. All right. The only thing I'd like to see in the email is, hey, I need a phone consultation. Here's my phone number. I don't need to know the story. All right. The story is irrelevant. And I know that you're frustrated. I got one guy, he sent me an email, it was 4 pages long. I don't have time to read that. Okay. You want me to read something? Let me read your mind while we're talking in a conversation. All right. So now you have the basic remedy to enforce court-ordered judgment against the non-custodial PaRent, which in essence is the Social Security Administration. All right. And on top of that, if you do it properly, you're also going to put in there, I demand, I want a full refund of the money that I paid on their lien that I wasn't required by law to pay. They don't respond, they acquiesce to that too. That's how you get your money back. All right. You have your assignments, folks. Use your brain. All right. I keep telling you, your mind is like a parachute. It only works when you open it. Open your mind. All right. And start shutting down these crime families. Hotel.